What's up guys, Juggalo here, and welcome to PC News You Can Use. I've been working that late night shift, so this is why I'm sort of late on everything, and probably going to be every Tuesday now. I'll be doing these PC News You Can Use, but if I get lucky I'll try to post them on the weekend, but my work schedule is conflicting in what I would like to do, so I sort of have to deal with it, you know. Alright, we have the GIGABYTE GTX 680 super overclocked WindForce 5 times pictured some more. So let me go ahead and show you these pictures right here. So it's more redefined, getting close to that release date hopefully, and it has 5 fans on it, and there they are, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 along here, and then that's the back. It has a back plate, which is nice, and then there's a cooler. The cooler, if you recognize this design, it's the same design as the GTX 590, so it's actually using vapor chill cooling. No price point on this at all. It's going to be using 5 40mm fans at the top. It's going to have 5 8mm thick copper heat pipes and everything like that. So I'm guessing the price point is probably going to be like $700, $700, $800 for this. It's just a given. Trying to see what kind of pins it used, like an 8+8, 8+6, 6+6 kind of deal, but I don't see it, so I'm going to see if I can find it on any of the pictures at all. And I don't think it really shows it, unfortunately. So yeah, I don't know what's going to be using. It's probably going to be using an 8+6 if this is an aftermarket card PCB and it's meant for overclocking. It's going to take up 3 slots, unfortunately, just letting you guys know. Alright, this is in a language, but I have no idea what it says, but basically from the source that translated it, basically the 2600K and the 2700K by Intel, it's going to be lowering in price by $15 it looks like. Alright, next up we have ASUS unveils 2 budget-friendly P8Z77V motherboards. So if you guys are interested in going Ivy Bridge and having budget, check this out. But again, Ivy Bridge is not the enthusiast platform. Ivy Bridge is more or less an architecture feat in itself, because it is using new technologies and everything like that, which really would benefit the like mobile market instead of the enthusiast market, just because that there is heat issues. But it was already granted that it was going to have a little more heat than other processors and everything like that. I already knew that. It's using a tri-gate technology, or 3D transistors, versus the bi-gate, which older processors have used. So that's why it is so much hotter, or hotter than expected, I should say. Next up we have ASUS introduces the Xtion motion sensor. I guess that's how you pronounce it, or Xtion, I don't know. But more or less, you can think of this little deal as a Microsoft Kinect. That's essentially what it is, and they're saying, oh, you can use games and everything like that with it using this sensor. Well, it's the same thing as a Microsoft Kinect. You can do that with the Microsoft Kinect. You just have to buy a USB adapter on eBay for like $3, $4, and you'll be able to hook it up to your computer. Now, before I get into anything else, let me turn off something that you guys are probably getting really annoyed with and or can't hear, but it's annoying the heck out of me. I accidentally left my dryer on, so sorry about that. Alright, next up we're going to have Pioneer introducing a new internal, basically Blu-ray player, Blu-ray recorder, everything, and it's absolutely amazing what it can do. So basically, if you want the top dog when it comes to Blu-ray players for excuse me, Blu-ray players for your computer, this is the one to get. But again, this is probably going to cost a lot of money, and it has a price point of $100, so keep that in mind. Next up, we're going to have ASUS launches. The ASUS, or ASUS, that's how it's pronounced, it's ASUS ROG G75EW and G55EW notebooks. Basically, if you're interested in getting the latest and greatest in technology, as far as laptops and everything in the mobile Ivy Bridge, that's what it's for. It's going to have the GTX 660M graphics card and 670M graphics card. It's going to support up to 3 gigs of RAM on the video cards and up to 16 gigs of RAM on the motherboard, and also will have support for dual hard drives if you want them in RAID and all that stuff. So that's basically what this laptop is boosting, is the new technologies right here. Next up, we have ASUS announces the B243 PWL IPS monitor. Basically, with IPS monitors you'll get better clarity and everything like that, and it is going to be 1920 by 1200. The price point is going to be $329, and it has a, looks like 3.6, so that's 9 zeros, so 1,000,000:1 contrast ratio and a brightness of 300 nits. So it should, yeah, it's either going to be 100,000, yeah, this is 100,000 to 1 or 1,000,000 to 1. Just got up, so my brain isn't fully working, so I apologize. Alright, next up, MSI R7870 Hawk takes to the sky, meaning that it is probably going to be released, or is released at this point. Basically, this is meant for the overclocker. This probably has an aftermarket PCB, which means better stability, better OCs, and everything like that. Here is a picture of it right here. Alright, there's the box, has a stealth fighter on it. F-117 is the designation of the stealth fighter. Alright. Next up, we have ViewSonic launching the VX2460H LED ultra slim display, and this is really ideal for gamers. That's what it's promoting and everything like that. So it's going to have Full HD 1080p resolution, 2 ms response time, and yeah, so if you guys are interested, check it out. I really wish that it had a profile view like this way to see actually how thin it is, like to compare to like a remote, a phone, credit card, you know, just to see some kind of comparison to see how thick it is. And it's going to have a price point of €199, which means probably $200 US, or $300 depending on everything. Alright, Samsung introduces the Series 7 Gamer, the ultimate gaming laptop. Again, this is probably going to have the new Ivy Bridge processor and everything like that. And anything with Samsung is going to be really expensive. It's going to be 1920 by 1080 resolution, 17.3 inch screen. Let's see, you can have up to 16 gigs of memory and a 1.5 terabyte hard drive, 720 RPM, and it is going to cost you $1,899, so basically $2,000, unfortunately. Now, this right here was actually bookmarked to show you the size of the new 670, but unfortunately I guess they took it or removed it, so that sort of sucks. Yep, they moved it, dang it. Oh well. Another source that it is in Japanese, but basically the OCZ Octane series are going to be coming out with a 1 terabyte SSD, so check that out when it comes up. Alright, now if you guys are wanting to upgrade but don't want to spend a lot of money, the 7850 is coming out, and it's going to pack 768 stream processors. So, and here is the GPU shot. Right here we have the PCB shot right here, and then just the die itself, or GPU. Next up we have the new TechPowerUp GPUs 0.6.1 released. It's going to have some bug fixes and everything like that, which is always nice. It's going to fix crash on AMD Southern Ireland while no graphics card drivers installed. Disabled broken BIOS save on NVIDIA Kepler. BIOS files are saved as a ROM. Fixed graph sensor. Improved NVIDIA Kepler boost clock detection. Adds support for the 690, 670, 640, 630, 605, the Quattro 3000M, GTX 675M, GTX 670M. Added support for the 7970M and the HD 7450. Added full support for Intel Sandy Bridge and Ivy Bridge integrated graphics cards. So yeah, a lot of fixes. Next up we have Steam is going to support remote installing, and what that means is that you buy a game, for example at work, on your phone, your computer's running, you link that account, you say, hey, I want this to download. It'll download on your computer, so when you come home it's already going to be downloaded, installed, and you're going to be ready to play. So how awesome is that? It's a pretty neat feature. If you are interested, you can download the beta. What you have to do is go into your file and say you do want to participate in beta, and that should automatically update Steam so you can partake in that. Alright? Next up we have the GTX 590. Started selling April 28th, I believe, and it's basically $1,000. Now, basically, I'm sort of disappointed in you, NVIDIA. The reason I say this is if you're gonna have 2 GPUs, you only have 2 gigs on each side. So if you really want to put NVIDIA Surround, you really can't, because you're gonna get a lot of lag. Reason being is, even though you say it's 4 gigs total, it's basically 2 gigs on either GPU. Now when you put that in SLI, it's only going to be 2 gigs shared, so you won't see the full 4 gigs in your games. It would only be 2. The graphics card I do want is GK110. That is what I want. It's supposed to have 4.5 teraflops of processing power, so if you get 2, you have 9 teraflops of processing power, and that's supposed to be released sometime in the fall. Next up, Bethesda Softworks announces the Elder Scrolls Online, and I think I'm going to burp. Excuse me, sorry about that. But basically they want to try to improve this game and make it online and everything, which is awesome. So we'll see how that goes. They're basically saying that they were talking about it in their European magazines and everything like that. It is being developed for PC and Mac, so Mac users, you'll be able to play the game. Probably costs a little bit more than the PC, of course. It's usually how it goes. So go ahead and check that out if you are interested. Next up, we have a new gaming mouse coming out, and I have no idea how to pronounce this. So I think it's Legion or Legion, L-Druin first exclusive. Basically, it's gonna have Japanese switches. It's 8 programmable on either side, I think, and here it is. They also have basically you can pop these off, and then you'll be able to put new ones on if you have a bigger hand or smaller hand, which is pretty awesome. So they're trying to customize this mouse for all gamers, not just a specific gamer as far as hand size. So let me scroll down and read you off the specs and everything like that. So we have 100 to 5000 DPI. We have 2 made in Japan. Omron micro switches, 1 patent pending. Omni tuner for DPI, micro tune, and profile management. 5 directional thumb S pads, 12 fully programmable hotkeys, 4 custom profile sets, 1 a default profile, dual LED Q system for profile and Omni tuner mode indication, 4 removable palm plates for adjustable size and grip. And the size of this mouse is going to be 126 millimeters long, so 4.9 inches, and it's going to be 3.15 inches width, and then the height is going to be 1.73 inches. You're going to need a PC with a USB port. Of course, you can use Windows 7, XP, and Vista if you like. Internet connection required for driver installation. That's what pretty much majority of these mouse manufacturers are coming to, is where they're not going to send you the installation disk for the software. Instead, just go online and get the most recent one online, which is the best bet you should do. And you should have at least 80 megabytes of hard drive space. Wow, that was a lot of reading. Next up, we have Leisure Suit Larry. They started this thing on Kickstarter, and it ends up with 673,000. Now, I think their goal was 600 or 700. So let me go here. The game was actually gunning for 750,000, but they made 673,000. And if you still want to do this, it said while Kickstarter is closed, PayPal donations are still open. So if you would like the game revamped and everything, I guess that's what they want to do. And if you don't know what Leisure Suit Larry is, it's basically a mature content game, and it's pretty funny. The series is pretty old, actually. I had Leisure Suit Larry on the original Xbox, so that's how old that is. Whoops, anybody want Chronicle? Not really, accidentally clicked the ad. But next up we have Galaxy Readies single slot GeForce 670 graphics card, and here it is. That's really nice that card manufacturers are trying to make these cards single slot, because I know a lot of people don't like to use the dual slot because that covers up the slots that you would want to use. So here you go, you have a single slot. This is probably going to be a custom PCB, because the original PCB by NVIDIA, I believe, is really small. From the pictures, I was estimating, I was probably like that, 4 to 5 inches long maybe. Unfortunately, I can't bring that up. I have to find it, and I have no idea where it is, because the Japanese site looks like they took it down, probably for legal reasons. But anyway, that is it for PC news you can use. Sorry for the late video, post up, whatever you want to say. But I guess that's it. Comment, subscribe, rate this video, click that like button. Guys, have a great day.